Speaking of Beyonce.
Speaking of the Queen Bee.
Top 5.
Listen.
Our top 5 favorite Beyonce songs.
So I'm not president of the Beehive. I'm not vice president, but I'm in the hierarchy, and I just can't.
You in it.
This, and I accept it. I denied it for so long. But do you know, I realized the exact moment where I became an official Beehive member. Because I've loved Beyonce since the Destiny Child days. But I will never forget, in 2013, in December, during finals, I was in my room studying, and my roommate / best friend screamed at the top of her lungs. And I thought she was dead. I said, "Fool, what is wrong with you?" She said, "Beyonce dropped an album." I said, "What do you mean she dropped an album?" Beyonce dropped her self-titled album with no promo, no signs, no warning. And not only did she drop that album, she dropped videos for every single one. And when she did that and I realized how great she was, I said, you know what? Go ahead and sign me up for the Hive. I'll be there. With that being said, this list was probably the hardest thing I've had to do all week.
I'm a Beyonce fan, man. I don't consider myself in the Beehive, but
don't let him lie to you. He's in the Hive.
I really like Beyonce. So first, for my honorable mention, can I give my honorable mentions?
Do whatever you need to do.
So my first honorable mention is all of the Lemonade album. My favorite song on the Lemonade album is "Daddy Lessons."
That's interesting because that's my least favorite song.
Well, first of all, I like the vocal range that it shows that Beyonce has, because people don't give her enough credit for that technically. But I have a daughter, so I like any song that's talking about the relationship between a father and a daughter. And regardless of what you know about Matthew Knowles' relationship with Beyonce, that song talks about a dad that is doing what he can to prepare his daughter for the world. And I just think that that's dope. Another honorable mention I have is "Cater to You," which is it's a Destiny's Child song, but I like that song. Boo? It's a dope song. I be hungry.
Let me feed you.
My wife be feeding me though, so it's all good.
Oh my god!
And then "Flawless" is also an honorable mention because
she woke up like this.
I'm not a woman, obviously, right?
Tell me more.
I don't understand how you can be a woman and listen to that song and not feel flawless.
You don't.
Like that song is
you don't. That's what I love Adele when she gave her speech. Like if you listen to it, empowered.
That's why I don't really understand that. Like I understand that everybody is not for everybody, but I don't understand people who just don't like Beyonce. I understand if the music is not for you, but like people that hate on Beyonce, I don't get it.
I get it because BuzzFeed posts articles about Beyonce all the time. I think they're not understanding what she's trying to do. Like, just listen to her. Like, I don't get how you listen to Lemonade or a song like Flawless or any of these things and don't feel like, man, I see you, B.
Yeah.
I see what you're trying to get at. I guess I'll give my honorable mention. Are you done? You got more?
My last honorable mention is all of 4.
So you got 2 full albums on your... I never liked you. I never liked you.
You got honorable mentions, my G?
I guess, because I did my list properly. So one of mine is "Single Ladies." Mm-hmm. The thing is, I don't like that song, but that song was everywhere. That song has done everything. I have to go to a wedding in 2 weeks. Guaranteed. Every single wedding that I've been to in the last 5 years, they have played "Single Ladies" for the bouquet toss. "Single Ladies." Also, "Crazy in Love," because no, like that set her off. I mean, I guess it's a spoiler because that's not on my list, but "Crazy in Love" is everything.
That's your honorable mentions?
Yeah.
So let's talk about my list then. I have a 5A and a 5B.
I'm so sick. Listen, stop breaking the rules.
My 5B is "Crazy in Love." And let me tell you why.
Because Jay-Z?
Because Jay-Z, that song, that was her lead-off single on her debut.
It's the chin-chin.
That's her lead-off song on her debut album, right? Mm-hmm. And Jay-Z said at the beginning of it, "Shit, it's history in the making," and it was. That was the beginning of a long run.
Pack your bags and leave, sir.
So I like that song. My 5A is "Partition" and "Drunken Love."
Hey, both.
Both of them are my 5A.
So again, you just listed 30 songs.
My 5 is 3 songs, right? The rest of them are just 1 song. But "Partition" and "Drunken Love," just because for the self-titled album in general, I like the idea of women owning their sexuality. So I just like the fact that you know, when you pair it with the documentary that she put out with the self-titled album, you know that she was working through the whole fact that she just had the child and she was trying to figure out how she could still be Beyonce and still be sexy and all that stuff. So I think that those two songs were dope. And also Jay-Z rhymed Duce with Duce on Drunk in Love. So
eat the cake.
Yeah.
What I will say about Drunk in Love, when Drunk in Love came out, I was in a relationship, and you never know a great feeling until you're drunk in love. When Drunk in Love comes on, I was actually literally like I was drunk, and that song came on, and I was out, and it was fantastic. It was a great time.
I didn't know about this relationship. I like talking
you
about
did.
it. Okay.
You didn't know.
We'll talk about that off air.
Okay. I have to put my business out there in the streets.
Drunk in Love.
Anyways, so my 5, because I knew Gilbert was going to break the rule, so I have multiple songs in my top 5. I guess my 5C, sure, is Irreplaceable, because that song was a jam, and it's fantastic. For all you F-boys, you must not know about me. Don't you ever for a second think that you're irreplaceable, because you can go ahead and get gone. Who hired you?
I told y'all episode 5 was going to be lit.
It was lit. But Irreplaceable was hot fire. And also when ringtones were still a thing, that was my ringtone on my phone for the longest time. My 5B is Love on Top. Love on Top is fantastic. Everybody breaks their throats trying to sing that key change in the middle of that song. You know you can't do it. It's fantastic. Also, Love on Top was a song she used to announce she was pregnant with Blue Ivy on the MTV Awards, and it was the greatest performance. Go back and watch that performance. She was wearing like a blazer and slacks and killed the game pregnant with that baby. And that's when I knew I love Beyonce. And then my 5A is all of self-titled Beyonce. Because I listen, I couldn't pick one. I just couldn't do it. That album is
a good body of work.
It's my favorite Beyonce album. And I know I'm going to get Lemonade hate, but self-titled is everything. Rocket, good Lord. Like, I just love the way that Beyonce did what she needed to do and came through with the vocals and the sexuality, and it was fantastic. So
that's one thing that Beyonce doesn't get enough credit for. Is something that you mentioned earlier. All of Beyonce's albums are cohesive bodies of work.
Yeah.
Like, and you can say she doesn't write. That's fine. She's in those writing rooms. It still takes talent to bring together all of that talent to do that, right? So to be able to cohesively executive produce that sort of body of work is fantastic. Yeah, but that's
there it is. All right, what's your top 5? What's your 4?
My 4 is Speechless, which is a song on Dangerously in Love album, slept on Beyonce album. I just like that song. I don't have any.
Is that it?
I don't have any. I just really like that song.
You have nothing else?
I have nothing. This was during the period where Beyonce still didn't sing very well. Mm-hmm. She was like working on it. But she went for it on that song, man. I just really like that song.
I was talking to somebody the other day about...
I am speechless about that song.
I'll make you go ahead and pack your bags and leave, sir. You're done here.
Yeah.
You're done. All right, so my number 4, God, it was so hard, is Hold Up from Lemonade. That song is
It's only
everything.
Because of Titus and Ramadan's version.
No, which is fantastic. But no, Hold Up. When you watch Lemonade in its entirety, the changing to that video where she's walking around and the juxtaposition between her looking so happy in this bright dress and she's like smashing all the windows and breaking the fire hydrants. I'm like, yes, B, let him know. Hold up. Ain't nobody gonna love you the way that I love you. Ain't nobody gonna care about you the way that I do. You can go ahead. I'ma F me up a B. So tell Becky to come through because she can catch this bat. Is what she can do. That's what she can do all day long. So Hold Up is my number 4. I hate you.
My number 3 is Me, Myself, and I.
So you're just going to do old Beyonce? Because I know what your number 1 is, so you're just going to do old Beyonce.
Me, Myself, and I is a fantastic song.
I can't believe I've been here.
It's just, that song might have been about Jay-Z, too.
Somebody was like, they were pinpointing all the songs. They're like, all the songs were about Jay.
In hindsight, that song makes so much more sense now.
Listen, everybody, go back and listen to all of Beyonce.
It makes so much
all
more
the songs.
sense now.
It's like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
That video used to trip me out. Yeah. When video still mattered and they had like 3 different Beyoncés doing the most. Yeah, I like that song. That's cool.
What's your number 3?
All right, so number 3 is Get Me Bodied, the extended mix. I want the whole thing. Get Me Bodied. That there's not a time when that song comes on and I don't get hype. My mom and I have been practicing since the song came out, and on my wedding day, we were gonna shut down the dance floor with that song. Give Me Bodied is everything. It's a bop. It makes you want to dance. There's dance instructions in there. It's 8 minutes of greatness.
Facts.
I love it. Get me bodied. That's all I got for you.
My number 2 is Party.
Party.
You a bad girl and your friends bad too. Hey,
you got the swag, saucy dripping swag.
Hey, I like that song. First of all,
I may be young, but I'm sorry. I was singing that all day before we started the podcast.
All I gotta say is 3 Stacks, man. I know it's a Beyonce list, but 3 Stacks is on that song. That's not like
2,000 degrees.
If you sitting there, you got. I happen to like whiskey, right? So if you got a little Crown, right? A little Crown and Coke on a nice breezy spring day, and Party comes on, son. That song is lit, man.
I low key wish I had a convertible, cause I would slow ride with that song. That's a chill song. I like that song. Is that it? Was that it? All right. So my number 2 is Formation. Formation did a lot for me. Like Lemonade in general did a lot for me. I'm talking me, Lindsay, specifically as a Black woman, just making me be proud of who I am and not shying away, especially last year when I needed it with the climate that our country is in. But when she came through, it was like, y'all got that Alabama, Louisiana, you mix that Negro with that Creole, make a Texas Bama.
Hey.
Like baby hair and afros.
Facts.
My Negro knows, like she lets you know, and she shut it down. So she released a song and then, which I love, went on the Super Bowl and shut it down. Had all of her dancers dressed out, Black Panthers, fist in the air, and shut it down. Formation is a staple. It's great. And she said the lyrics, when he F me good, I take him to Red Lobster to get them cheddar biscuits. It was fantastic.
Beyonce does that.
She does.
She toes the line of ladydom and thottery.
And then, did you just say thottery?
Yeah. She toes it better than anybody else.
I don't think she toes it. Did you say this earlier on the podcast? I don't know. She turns it on and off.
Ride that thing like a surfboard.
Surfboard.
That's what she said. All right, my number 1.
That's what she said.
Favorite Beyonce song.
We know, Gilbert.
Why are you hating, bruh? You know, my favorite thing. So my number 1 favorite Beyonce song is "Dangerously in Love." It's one of my favorite songs of all time. It was my wedding song. That was the first song me and my wife danced to.
It's gross.
My favorite part about that song.
You just love that album.
I do like that album. Oh, Dangerously in Love is on that album.
Your whole top 5
Most of my top
was
5
that
is on
album.
What I love about that song is that is a Destiny's Child song.
And she took it and said, so thank you for the time. I'm going to go ahead and remaster this.
Like, it's a Destiny's Child song.
And I'm mad that nobody talks about that because Beyonce did some shady things with Destiny's Child.
It sounds better.
It sounds better.
It just sounds better.
That's fantastic.
Like, you should have always been background singers, guys.
I mean,
like
they were.
I went to go see Destiny's Child when they were still Destiny's Child.
Did you really?
In concert.
We've never talked about this.
I was in high school. There was a concert with Missy Elliott, Tamia, and Destiny's Child, and they performed that song, and it was just like, yo, this would be better if it was just Beyonce.
And here we are.
You know, so
it was way after the fact that I realized how shady that was. That she literally said, "I'm just gonna go ahead and take this.
I'm just gonna take that song. It's my song.
And put it on my album." And nobody. It was.
She added drums to it.
Okay.
That did make it different.
I'm sorry.
But that's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah, we
but
know.
It's a good song, man.
Be unique.
What you got? What's your number 1?
My number 1 is this lovely song called "1+1." That is my number 1 favorite Beyonce song. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I just feel the love coming through the speaker. It's just great. I love how stripped down it is, where it's just her voice and that guitar. And then all the components of that song are fantastic. And I also love that it's not the first track on that album. It may be. That was on 4. And 4 is a lot of Beyonce hollering and screaming and I can't, like just doing the most. But I love how chill and just relaxed 1+1 is. That's all I've got. Like it's fantastic. It pulls at my heartstrings every time. I love it.
So we clearly like Beyonce.
We
podcast listeners, let us know what your 5 favorite Beyonce songs are. This is not. I'm not being facetious. I have a real question. If you don't like Beyonce,
tell us why.
I would really like to know why. This is not a combative question. I honestly would like to know why you don't like Beyonce. So you can add us at the EBS Podcast on Instagram, at the EBS Podcast on Twitter, or send us an email at educatedblacksibling@gmail.com.
EBS.
Hey.
It's a show that we're on.
We don't have a theme song.
I feel like that's just got to be it. It's been 5 episodes, 5 fortnights. How many nights is that?
I don't know. So we will be back in a fortnight. We release bi-weekly, so we'll be back in a fortnight. Guys, please subscribe to the podcast. We are official. We are live now. We are on Google Play. We are on iTunes. We are still on YouTube, so subscribe.
We got sponsors and stuff.
We have sponsors. Speaking of, go to gameflyoffer.com/EBS podcast. I feel like they're not paying me enough to say that as many times as I said.
Nah, but we're going to get it in there because we cool, because we got sponsors.
But look, it's free games. Free. Like, you get free games for 30 days.
Listen, they
if
send
you need
it
to cancel
to
it,
you.
You can cancel it.
If y'all are lazy like me, you understand. I don't want to get up and go.
It comes directly to your door.
It comes to
If there was
your
a
door.
game that you were thinking about buying, right?
You don't have to buy it.
Go to gameflyoffer.com/EBS podcast. Sign up for the free trial. Try out the game for 30 days.
Try it out.
If you like it, you can buy it from Gamefly at a discounted price, which is another cool thing about Gamefly. But I don't want to spend all day talking about Gamefly. Subscribe to the podcast, guys. And we want you to reach out to us. So again, let us know why you don't like Beyonce.
There will be no one. We
or
all
give
love
us
her.
give us your top 5. I can think of 3 people right now that
Then
listen
those
to
are
the podcast
those
that
are
don't like
then those are
Beyonce.
3 people you need to cut out of your life right there.
I am subtweeting
They
specific people right now.
Don't belong.
But I love them.
What's love got to do with it? Ha.
This has been episode number 5. Hey, it's been very fun. Thank you guys for the support. Keep supporting us. Share the podcast if you like it. Subscribe. We will see you in a fortnight.
Hey.